Hey guys, my name is Toby, and today I want to tell you my number one tip in terms of autofocus with the Fuji X-T4 and the X-T3 and maybe a whole other line of Fuji cameras. But this is particular for autofocus lenses, and basically that is turning on the autofocus lock so that it becomes a switch. So you program a button where you can turn it on and off, and focus locks it where you want. Why is this useful? Well, sometimes you want to find focus and then you just want to leave there. Maybe it's a face, there's someone in a crowd, and you know that people are going to be walking in front, or there's going to be things to distract, and you don't want the autofocus to hunt. Other times you maybe want to do a reveal shot where you're focusing on a room and you're behind a little wall and you kind of pull to the side. Well, you don't want the autofocus to focus on the door frame or anything like that. Third, if you are using adapted lenses, I use some adapted EF lenses, the autofocus does work, it does talk, but because it's a little noisy, it can hunt sometimes. It is nice to use this autofocus lock function so that I can still grab focus, I can still take advantage of the fact that the body and the camera, the body and the lens are talking to each other. But if I want to lock it down or quickly use manual focus, maybe grab focus and then adjust by hand, it's easy to do with this. And out of the box, from my experience, this is not programmed right into the Fuji X-T3 or X-T4. So this is how you do it. Step one, program an autofocus lock button. Now with the Fuji X-T4, it makes sense to use the AF on button. It's large, it's right there, it's really easy for your thumb to grab. And if you want to program that or program any other button, a quick way to do that is to hold down the display back button. So if you hold that down, you jump right into the function settings as a shortcut right there. So whatever button you pick, you can do that. Another one you could try is the front one, right, with your middle finger or your index finger. That's an easy one to do. But you want to go right down and pick whatever button that is and select AF lock. AF lock only. We're not dealing with auto exposure or anything like that. AF lock only. On the X-T4, it's on page 7 of 8. So that's how far you need to go down. Next, what you want to do is, and this is really the important part, because this is in my experience by default, it's not set up this way. So go to menu and then go to your settings, so the wrench there, and we're going to go to button and dial settings. We're going to scroll down to page 2 of 3, and under AE and AF lock mode, you'll notice a letter either S or P. P stands for press, and that is the default. That means while you are pressing down this button, autofocus will lock. Well, if you are shooting for a long time, or you are using, maybe you're using mainly manual focus with some autofocus, well, actually that gets a little tiring, and maybe you just can't do that. What we want to do is switch it so that it becomes to switch. So you want to dive right in there, and it says AE and AF on off switch. So you should now see the letter S instead of the letter P. And that's it. You can use this with, again, adapted EF lenses to grab focus. Maybe you want it to autofocus, but sometimes you want to just lock it off, use manual focus, or even with Fuji native lenses, I have found that in a crowd, I don't want it to hunt. So I'm going to lock on to that face or whatever it is, and from there I can be sure it's not going to jump around. So I hope that is helpful to you. This was really revolutionary. I had realized you could quickly AF lock, but for a long time I was holding it down and my thumb got pretty tired. So shout out to my brother who showed me this. If you have any other questions about this, let me know. If you have other ideas for autofocus settings, you can let me know in the comments. Thanks.